everybody, it's Miranda here from Business Skills Studio, and I'm really excited today that I've got my good friend Chrissie Webber, who's a bit of a social media whiz, and we're going to be doing a little mini mastermind session for you. But before we get started, I'd just like to ask Chrissie to introduce herself and to explain a little bit about how she got into the field of social media. So hi Chrissie.
Hi Miranda, thanks for inviting me to do this.
Oh, you're so welcome.
It's brilliant. Do you know, I fell into doing social media literally at the tender age of 60. So you're never too old to do anything new.
You did say 60.
60, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I hated social media, but knew I had to do something. So I put myself on a Tuesday evening course, turned up to the first night of the course to find out it was a free 2-year degree course. Which was fabulous because it really got me heavily into social media and to blogging. So that's how I came into it.
Yeah, so I think probably people watching this will be surprised there that sort of not only when you said you were 60, people tend to think of social media as very much being something that maybe the younger people are really big into, but also that you spent 2 years doing a degree in it. And also you're probably sitting there thinking, how did that happen? I thought I was going to an evening class, but it's quite remarkable sometimes, isn't it, what happens? So after all that studying, you didn't just study social media, you then went on and you started using it. And I know now you're very, very actively working with clients on their social media strategy, and you use it a lot yourself. What would you say are the 3 main reasons that people need to use social media in their business?
Yeah, especially for small businesses, it's about making sure you're keeping up with your major competitors, the big businesses. I'm not saying you should do your social media like they do, because being a small business, you do it totally differently. But 100% of large businesses are now using social media to increase sales. Small businesses, less than 6% are using it to increase sales. So we're falling behind our major competitors, yeah? The second reason is that gradually but slowly, other small and medium businesses are coming on board with social media and digitally. And if we don't keep up as businesses, we become what I call the digital dodos, and we will become extinct. And that is a literal truth for the future. Our businesses will suffer if we don't get on board.
Yeah. And didn't you had quite a good example of that, didn't you, with like a big company, one of the big supermarkets who's been a bit of a digital dodo?
That's right. In fact, I was doing some research for a networking presentation I was giving recently, and it's Morrison's. Believe it or not, Morrison's didn't go online with an online shop until December 2013. Last year, they published a deficit in their turnover of 176 million. And this year, they're closing 11 stores. That's how badly they're affected.
Yeah.
Why is this? Tesco's started and opened their first online shop 20 years ago next year. Yeah, so they're way behind their competitors.
Yeah.
If they survive, they'll be lucky. Yeah. And as small businesses, our businesses go bust far quicker because we do not have the same sorts of turnovers. So we've got to get in there, and we've got to be in it to win it.
I totally agree with you. So the 3 things that would be to keep up with your big competitors, the big boys, to stay ahead of the smaller competitors, the smaller businesses you're competing with, and then finally not become a digital dodo, which is a term I really like actually, because we know what happened to the dodos. They became extinct. And I think sticking your head in the sand with things like social media and the digital age is only going to end up in extinction. It's all going one way, isn't it, really?
And Miranda, I want to say here, for some of us, and I was one of these people, I fought against social media for the first year of my degree course. I hated it. I wanted to be face to face. Why did I want this technology? Yeah. And it's more about fear of the unknown, fear of something doing, and the time it takes as we get older to do things as well.
Yeah.
But we've got to go there. We've got to do it.
I'm just in awe of you that you sat there for that year taking part in this degree thinking I hate this, but that you stuck with it, and you've obviously been able to use social media to your own advantage and to your clients' advantage as a result of all the highly in-depth stuff that you learned. That's quite amazing, Chrissie.
Thank you. Thank you.
So sometimes I hear clients saying, they know that they should be getting involved in social media, but they can't quite see how it fits with everything else, or they see it maybe as a separate thing. So how would you say that social media fits with the rest of your marketing activity?
Yeah, it's absolutely vital that it is a part of an integrated marketing strategy. And that marketing strategy takes into consideration everything from your website and your web content, right through to physical marketing literature, to events. So for instance, how if you're running an event, you use a hashtag to increase connectivity with people. So there's lots of different ways, but it must be part of an overall marketing strategy which is linked to your business growth, because that's how you can measure your return on investment. If it's just piecemeal, you can't.
And the time you're putting in is an investment, isn't it? There is a cost to that.
Absolutely. And also, as a small business, we have very little time, especially if you're a micro business like I am. I work on my own. However, I work in collaboration with other people, so that I have a team around me, so I can work with big businesses as well. But if we don't have an integrated marketing strategy, then we don't have a focus on which to analyse our return on investment.
I know this is something that you help your clients with, is creating that strategy so that it isn't piecemeal and a bit sporadic. It all kind of fits together. So I know that you help a lot of clients with that. So your clients, what do you think are the 3 biggest benefits they're seeing as a result of the investment they're making in social media?
Yeah. First of all and foremost is increased sales and customers. Because it's like anything we do in marketing, it has to go back to the bottom line. We've got to increase our sales. At the moment, I'm meeting a lot of small businesses in networking groups who are spending time, sometimes a lot of time, on social media, but not getting any returns because they don't know how to do it, or there's no strategy behind it. So it's the sales that is really important. Secondly, it's raising brand awareness. So this is part of your strategy, must be how strong is your brand, and does it flow across everything from your website to your social media? And is it strong enough that if somebody opens up Facebook and they see you, they know it because it's like your website. And the same with your marketing material. Everything has to flow with the branding. And thirdly, it can be for some people expanding their business reach. Some people may be local businesses. I've got a client at the moment. They are electricians and they are based in the Hereford area, but they wanted to expand into other areas. So as well as physical networking, they're networking online through using social media, and they're expanding their reach right up to Scotland.
So those are quite significant benefits. If you're increasing your sales, moving into different geographical areas, that's got to be good, hasn't it? That's all good, really good outcomes for the investment of time you're putting in.
Yeah, but you've also got to think in terms of a strategy. Is this right for my business, and can I manage the business? If you're going all the way up to Scotland to do one job, that's not going to be cost effective. It depends on what the business is, or whether you can do it digitally, like we are doing here. Yes. Some businesses can do it digitally over Skype or any of the other online methods. Actually choosing what methodology you use. No,
that makes perfect sense. I was thinking about when you're expanding your reach on social media, sometimes some of my clients have kind of been thinking about this in terms of just piling in the likes, piling in the followers, getting as many as possible. I know I used to see people putting on Facebook, like and share it, to like getting people to share their content to get more likes. What's your view on how important it is to get that volume of followers on your pages?
Well, I'll put it in a different way to you, Miranda. Yeah. If you went to a networking event, so you're physically networking with people, and you go into a room with a couple of hundred people, would you want to know all of them and have all of them like you? Or would you want, say, 25% who you're getting to know really well and building relationships for potential work? It's exactly the same online. Numbers are a false way of chasing business. A lot of those numbers may be outside of your geographic area. So it's about focusing your followers into those that you want to be following you because you've got something that would add value, and they may refer you to somebody else. But definitely those people that you may take online or offline into a sales environment. And that's where the focus should be.
I have heard someone use a term, I can't quite remember it, but it was like talking about numbers of vanity, sales of sanity or something. So just having lots of numbers is just a vain thing. It's not really very useful for your business unless it's converting to sales.
And you can buy numbers. And these
I've heard of that
I see with 100,000 followers, no, they must be buying those followers. And are they worth it?
Yeah.
Now, if you've got an online shop and you want to drive traffic, then it may be worth you looking at not buying people, but developing ways to increase your following. But only those people that are likely to buy from you. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, it's so true. And there's a multitude of platforms. There's the ones we know best, like there's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, there's Pinterest, there's Instagram. How should people make their decision about which is the best platform to use?
This is a really good and important question, Miranda, because if you choose the wrong platforms, you can be wasting a lot of time. So first of all, you ask yourself the question, is yours a business to business or business to consumer? And then you choose your platforms. Facebook is business to consumer. Now, yes, the big boys are on there because they can afford it. They pay lots and lots of staff to do lots and lots of stuff on across all platforms. Facebook is the biggest platform, and you may want to gather some customers from there, but it may not be relevant to you. And it takes a lot of time. So if it's business to business, then LinkedIn is really good. Twitter is good for both because it really helps you to focus people to and direct them to your website.
Yes.
As well as building some relationships. And it depends on whether you're a creative business. I've got a client at the moment who's a photographer and an artist, so hugely creative. So she's on Pinterest and Instagram. But the more platforms you're on, the more time it takes. So I always say start with one and then go to two, possibly three. But as a single-handed business, keep with one or two that work for you and analyse whether they are working. Use your analytics to see whether it is driving traffic to your website. If it's not, then reconsider you're doing.
Good point. And you alluded there to the idea that this can take a lot of time if you're not careful. And so managing the number of platforms, you need to be mindful of the amount of time you're putting into them. How much time should people be expecting to spend on their social media?
It's, how long is a piece of string?
I thought you might say that.
For those of us like yourself and myself that do quite a bit of networking, I always ask the question, how much networking in terms of hours do you do in a week? And then how many new contacts do you gather from that in a week? So you might do 2 hours or 4 hours a week. If you were doing, say, 2 hours on social media a week, which is quite substantial, you will probably be gathering a stronger and increased number of followers than you would do face-to-face at networking. But it's just like the face-to-face. You have to develop the relationships and then follow it up online or offline by taking it to a sale, yes, in one way or another. And so it's really about, is this leading to the sales, and am I spending too much time doing it or not enough? And each case is completely different. Yeah.
And I thought you might say it's as long as a piece of string, or how long is a piece of string with it. But it does depend, doesn't it, what you're wanting as an outcome, and whether your clients are actually responding on, or your potential clients are responding on social media. If you're putting a lot of time in and nothing's happening, it might need a rethink.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why it's vital to use all types of analytics, both the social media analytics and Google analytics. So you're looking at what actually works on your social media. So what messages, what photos, what fun things, what competitions work. And also on your website, what is driving your increased search engine optimization, so that you're getting it right from both sides.
That's right. And I think this is where somebody like you is so helpful to a small business, because you actually will look at those analytics and help a business owner draw conclusions, so that they then can make better decisions. And I think that's sometimes what people miss, is all that useful information that's sitting there that they're maybe not looking at or not knowing what to do with. But it is all there, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
It's all there.
And then the other thing is that when you're working alone, you're often not as creative as you are when you're bouncing ideas around with other people. And there's so much content out there on the web now that you have to be more and more engaging and creative with your engagement. So it's important to actually spend some of the time with other people to make sure that you are being innovative enough. People to engage with you.
Great point. I mean, I think we're pretty much up to our time. I budgeted about 15 minutes. I think that's, we've just gone over that. But I wanted to thank you so much for your insights, which are so valuable. I think the kind of the depth of your knowledge around social media is really showing in the answers that you have given to some of my questions there. So thank you so much, Chrissie. And if anybody wanted to sort of follow up with you, I know you have some resources on your website. Just say a little bit more about what they might find if they pop over to your website and how you might be able to help them.
Yeah, there's a business blog which includes lots of short, informative blogs on social media, but also on business development. And then there's what I call the resource e-zines. They are clickable links to lots and lots of things on the web that are useful for your business knowledge and your social media knowledge. And they can contact, anybody can contact me and ask me any questions, or just email me, whatever. I'm always here to help people.
That's fab. Thank you. And your website is www.chrissiewebber.co.uk. I'll make sure that's on the screen. And also I've got a social media planner that to help people get their head around organising their social media on businessskillsstudio.com website, and I'll put the link for that on the screen as well. But Chrissie, thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I'm really looking forward to working with you again next year on putting some more tutorials together on the strategic management of social media and converting your customers to, or converting your followers to customers. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and me too, Miranda. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Bye.